saying no isn't a weakness. It's a strength. It's not a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of what matters most to you. And it's not just self-care. It's actually leadership. And every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your values, you're stepping into the role of a leader in your own life. You're teaching others what's possible when we honor our boundaries. Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I'm your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Well, hey friends, welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving. I really can't believe it's Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays because it's like the calm before the storm, right? There's no gifts that you're trying to exchange. There's not as much running around. It's all around being thankful and grateful and family time and eating all of my favorite foods that I don't get to eat a lot of times throughout the year because y'all know this homegirl does not cook this kind of food, but all of my aunts and uncles cook this kind of food that I grew up with. And so I love getting together and having just wonderful meals, wonderful conversations. So I pray that you're having an amazing Thanksgiving day. If you're listening to this on Thanksgiving, thank you for tuning in and taking the time to do that. As we wrap up our NO-vember series, I want to leave you with something powerful to think about. No is more than a personal boundary. It's a leadership skill. Yep. It's a leadership skill. So when you say no, you're not just protecting your energy. You're stepping into a position of leadership in your life, in your business, and in your relationships. So let's dive in to why saying no is a leadership skill and how you can use it to lead yourself and others with clarity and confidence. And before we do that, just let me say, I am super thankful for you, for every show you've listened to, for every encouragement you have sent me, for being on this journey with me and reaching mompreneurs and just being a part of this community. I'm super thankful for you. So let's get to it. So leadership isn't about doing everything for everyone. It's about making intentional decisions that align with your vision and your values. When you say no, you are communicating something very important. You are communicating that I know what matters most to me. You're communicating that I value my time and energy. And listen, if you don't value your time and energy, no one else can, or no one else will. So it starts with you. You are communicating, I am focused on my goals. So think about this. Great leaders don't lead by people pleasing. They lead by being decision makers. I'm going to say that again. Great leaders don't lead by people pleasing. They lead by being decision makers. And every time you say no to something that doesn't serve your mission, you're demonstrating leadership by protecting what does. This is a mindset shift. This is a perspective that maybe you haven't thought of before. And whether you're in leadership in your company, you're in leadership in your own business, you're in leadership in your corporate job, leading at home, you are leading someone as a mom and a mom entrepreneur. But I want you to think about if you're running a business, saying no to a project that doesn't align with your goals isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's strategic. If you're managing a family, saying no to overcommitting your time isn't lazy. It's a wise stewardship of your energy. Do you feel that shift? And maybe you have some thoughts about this that have just been deeply ingrained in you, like it's other people's expectations or perceptions on saying no and what leadership really is. But I want you to think about that. And there is a ripple effect of saying no, because when you set boundaries by saying no, you're creating a ripple effect with others. You're modeling for others, your team, your clients, and your family, that it's okay to prioritize what matters most, what's most important. I say this all the time, especially in different trainings where I'm talking about this topic. Like when you tell someone no, especially another woman, even if she doesn't agree with you right away, like you literally just gave her permission to do the same thing. Because this is not a you problem. This is not something only you deal with. It's part of an epidemic of hustle and being the yes girl and putting everyone else's needs always at the forefront. And being, saying no means that I'm being selfish. Like all the things we've been talking about this month. This is not just a you thing. It's impacting probably more people than you realize. And so when you are able to flex your no muscle and you're able to say no, there's a ripple effect that's happening. And that's empowering too when you think about it in that way. Hey friend, can I give you permission today? Like for real, your own permission slip. Permission to get clear, to cut out the noise. Mostly the noise that is going on around in your own mind, in your own head. It's just swirling. And you're asking yourself questions like, why am I stuck? Why am I frustrated? Why am I not making progress on my goals? I want to invite you to a free clarity call with me where we're going to dive in and we're going to identify what are the three main issues that are keeping you stuck. Number two, what are the mindsets around those issues that are actually keeping you from solving for those issues? It's not our skill sets, it's our mindsets that keep us stuck and hold us back. And then number three, identifying what are your next steps. We all have a next step and we have 100% responsibility for those next steps. Your only next step right now is to go to the show notes and book your free clarity call so that we can work through this. I'm believing in you and I cannot wait to see you on our clarity call. So I want you to think about your kids for a second. Like if they see you constantly saying yes to things that leave you drained, what are they learning? This has always been an eye-opener. When I first launched my Choose You course, this was a huge eye-opener for the moms that went through that course. You're the model for your kids on how they deal with stress, how they deal with their calendars, how they deal with time management, energy management. So if they're seeing you constantly say yes to things that leave you drained, they're learning that their time and energy are less valuable than making others happy. That's what they're learning. And you may say one thing, but they're seeing something different. And I'm literally like pointing fingers back at me too. But when they see you say no with confidence and kindness, they learn something far more empowering. They learn that boundaries matter. They learn that it's okay to protect their peace. And the same applies to your business. As a mompreneur, when you say no to things that don't serve your mission, your team sees that you're focused, that you're decisive, and you're aligned. You're leading by example. So how do you say no in a way that not only sets a boundary, but also inspires confidence and respect? We've talked a little bit about this, but I don't think you can ever talk about it enough. But here are three strategies. The first one is to clarify your vision first. So if you're not clear on what you're saying yes to, it's harder to say no. Take time to define your priorities and your goals. This is a perfect time of year for you to be thinking about this. And again, no one's going to show up and do this work for you. You have to push the pause button. And it doesn't have to be a full day or a weekend away to do this. You could literally do this in an hour. When you know what matters most, saying no becomes a natural extension of your focus. You can also communicate with confidence and respect. So saying no doesn't have to be harsh or dismissive. It can just simply sound like this. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I need to pass this time. It could sound like, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm focusing on other priorities right now. That's clear, that's kind, and it's firm. You can delegate or redirect, right? So leadership isn't just about what you do. It's about empowering others to step up. If you're saying no to something, Can you delegate it or recommend someone else? This isn't like shifting responsibility. It's creating space for others to grow. And if you see it in that way, giving someone else the opportunity to step up and shine, it will help you with delegating and redirecting. So there are some long-term benefits of boundaries, and we've been talking about these, but I want to remind you of some of these things, like saying no today is an investment in tomorrow. What would your life look like? What would your business look like if you really believed that saying no today is an investment in tomorrow? If every no you say to something non-essential is a yes to your long-term vision. It's a yes to having the energy to lead your business without burning out. It's a yes to being present with your family without resentment. It's a yes to building something sustainable and impactful. And let me just be clear. I feel like y'all know this about me, but let me just go ahead and say it again in case you're new here. Leadership isn't about perfection. You won't always get it right. I don't always get it right. But the more you practice saying no to what drains you, the more you'll find yourself leading with intention, leading with clarity, and leading with more confidence. So as we close this NO-vember series, I want you to remember this. Saying no isn't a weakness. It's a strength. It's not a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of what matters most to you. And it's not just self-care. It's actually leadership. And every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your values, you're stepping into the role of a leader in your own life. You're teaching others what's possible when we honor our boundaries. And most importantly, you are building a life and business that reflects the very best of you, not just what's left of you. So thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for tuning into all of the NO-vember series podcast. I would love to know what your favorite was, which one was the most impactful for you. Maybe if you want us to talk about it in another way or another idea that came up for you, I'm always open to that. So be sure to send me a message. You can send me an email. I'm on Instagram. I'm coming back, y'all, in 2025 at a certain capacity, but I am in my DMs. So you can find me at Martine31Williams on Instagram. But until next time, remember, your no makes room for your most powerful yes. And I'm believing in you always. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.